Caitlin has brought a ton of new opportunity, a ton of new eyeballs, and more money to the sport. So instead of downplaying the magnitude of who she is and what she's brought, enjoy the ride and take advantage of the ride.
Caitlin Clark recently earned the prestigious title of Times Athlete of the Year, a moment that should have been a triumphant celebration for women's basketball. Instead, she's at the center of a storm of criticism, some of it coming from surprising places. The drama has taken the internet by storm, with unexpected defenders emerging, including NBA champions.
Man, first of all, she's unbelievable talent. You know, the things that she's doing is great in her own right. She's creating her own space, she's doing her own thing.
While questions loom over the WNBA's response, let's break it down. The controversy began when Sheila Johnson, co-owner of the Washington Mystics and a prominent business leader, made comments during a CNN interview that left many fans puzzled. Johnson argued that the entire WNBA, rather than just—
Let's take a second right now to have a moment of silence for Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson, who suggested that the WNBA as a whole should have been on the cover of Time magazine instead of just Caitlin Clark, who graced the cover last week, which is probably some of the stupidest I've ever heard.
Just Clark deserved recognition. When you single out one player, it creates hard feelings, she said, appearing to downplay Clark's immense contributions. Johnson also raised the sensitive issue of racial dynamics in sports, suggesting that equally talented players of color are often overlooked in the spotlight. Despite the criticism, the impact of Clark's achievements is undeniable.
It's just the structure of the way media plays out race. I'm going to be very honest. I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented, and they never got the recognition that they should have. And I think right now, it is time for that to happen.
Undeniable. She has broken attendance records, skyrocketed viewership, and brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball. Her influence has been transformative, making her a beacon for the sport's growth. As the debate unfolds, unexpected voices have stepped in to defend Clark, including NBA champions Matt Barnes and Trevor Ariza. Their passion—
While the NBA's ratings continue to drop over 30%, as they try to figure out who is going to fill the shoes of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry, the WNBA has a golden goose sitting in their league and has done— it's gotten better, but has done everything to kind of discredit the momentum and eyeballs she's brought to this game.
Defense is lighting up the basketball world. On his podcast, Barnes didn't hold back, calling out the WNBA for what he described as a missed opportunity. According to Barnes, the league has a golden goose in Clark.
Over 31% of the Mystics' entire attendance was in 2 games the Caitlin team played against the Mystics. The Sparks, the Aces, the Mystics, the Dream all moved games when Fever came in town because of the attention that Caitlin and her teammates have drawn that last season. Fever's jersey sales was up 1,000% and attendance was up 250%, and they had the largest attendance on average per year, just over 17,000 per game.
But hasn't fully embraced her star power. Instead of capitalizing on the momentum she's brought, they've done everything to discredit it, Barnes stated. Trevor Ariza echoed Barnes's.
Let me say this, Caitlin Clark deserves all the flowers. I think she took a lot of and a lot of skeptics coming into the league, as she should. Like, she had to really prove herself. Missed out on the Olympic opportunity, and really had a lot of hard knocks early on in the season where she was getting beat up and her teammates were just watching her. I think the camaraderie in that locker room grew and that team started playing together and made the playoffs, made a nice little run, and had a solid season.
Sentiments, comparing Clark's influence to that of basketball legends like Larry Bird. For Ariza,
So Caitlin is someone who has, if you look at it, done everything you're supposed to do and has been criticized along every step of the way. Again, she's damned if she does, and she's damned if she doesn't.
it's not just about her talent but her ability to captivate audiences and draw new fans to the sport. Their words have sparked a larger conversation about how women's basketball handles its stars and its potential for growth as this story unfolds. One thing is clear, Caitlin Clark's impact reaches.
I think they're doing an amazing job with, like you said, telling the story, and the players are actually doing their thing when they get there
Yes.
too. You know, like you mentioned, these couple of players, but Caitlin being the one that we're speaking about right now, she is kicking everybody's ass, really.
Far beyond the court. Whether you view her as a polarizing figure or a transformative force, her presence is reshaping the narrative of women's basketball, and the world is paying attention. The significance of NBA stars stepping up to defend Caitlin Clark cannot be overstated. These aren't just
If we had to compare from what we've seen from the NBA, it would, in her effect, probably something similar to Larry Bird.
players, they're champions, influential voices in the basketball world, whose opinions resonate with fans and industry insiders alike. Their support highlights the stark contrast between Clark's immense popularity and the criticism she's facing within her own league. Matt Barnes underscored this disconnect, emphasizing the historical importance of Clark's achievements.
When you see the people say it's not just her, there's other players, and again, we're not distracted. We understand that the depth of talent in that league, but when you also see the numbers that back up the fact that Caitlin has a huge effect. Caitlin Clark is responsible for nearly 27% of the WNBA's league-wide activity in 2024, including attendance. 1 in 6 tickets sold at the WNBA arena attributed to Caitlin Clark. TV viewership was up 300% with Caitlin Clark.
His message is clear. Clark isn't just an asset to her team, she's a game changer for women's basketball as a whole. This unexpected alliance between NBA champions and a WNBA phenom is shifting the conversation. It's no longer solely about Clark's individual accolades or the controversy surrounding her Time Athlete of the Year award. These NBA stars are asking bigger questions.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You know, they continue to push the game to the next level, you know, and you look at where the NBA was and now where the NBA is at now. And although everyone doesn't agree with the style of play, these guys have taken it to the next level as far as the business of basketball.
Right.
And I think that's what Caitlin will affect, is the business of women's basketball, man. So we wish them the best. Definitely excited to see these upcoming seasons and these women continue to do their thing.
Is the WNBA effectively marketing its stars? And is it fully leveraging the excitement Clark brings to the sport? As Barnes and Trevor Ariza's comments gain traction, they're sparking discussions that transcend Clark's on-court performance. They're challenging the broader narrative around athlete marketability and the future of women's basketball. Adding further weight to the conversation is Jim Jackson, a former NBA star turned analyst. Jackson's perspective
Congratulations to Caitlin Clark for being named Time Athlete of the Year. I get why people are so upset. I'm a basketball player and a basketball fan. There's a lot of dynamics and a lot of layers to this thing when it deals with Caitlin Clark. But I will say that this is just my opinion. It's certain people, I don't care if you're black, white, Spanish, from Europe, it doesn't matter, that have it, that draw something, okay? And Caitlin is one of those.
delves deeper into the complexities of marketability in women's basketball, offering insights that could reshape how we think about star power. He draws compelling parallels between Caitlin Clark and NBA superstar Steph Curry, noting that both possess a unique ability to captivate.
People, keep in mind, this is a business. When Nike signs a athlete, Okay, they want to get an ROI, return on their investment. How do they do that? Because that athlete resonates. You understand that Caitlin Clark, her jerseys, her apparel, if she has an apparel deal, her shoes will sell.
Audiences and create excitement around the game. Jackson doesn't shy away from tough comparisons either. While acknowledging that Aya Wilson is arguably the best player in the WNBA, he contends that Clark's marketability surpasses hers. Why? According to Jackson, it's not just about skill or race, it's about Clark's unmatched ability to draw viewers, generate buzz, and move merchandise. Caitlin Clark's jerseys and apparel will sell, Jackson stated, pointing to the surging demand for her gear as evidence. Jackson's analysis challenges the traditional.
It's the reason why Steph Curry, who may not be the best player, okay, in the NBA, but he draws differently. He draws different. He can be marketed differently than other players. And some players who may be considered better, maybe a Kevin Durant. But the market, to market Kevin Durant is a lot different than marketing Steph Curry. People resonate with Steph Curry a lot more than a KD. Now, that may be KD's personality, okay? He doesn't really care. I'm just using KD as an
Playbook of sports marketing, urging a reevaluation of how the WNBA values its athletes. His take highlights a critical point: Clark's impact extends far beyond the court, offering a transformative opportunity for women's basketball to redefine its future. This debate is just beginning, and the voices rallying behind Clark are sparking a broader reckoning for the sport as a whole.